Manchester United to decide on a top head of recruitment target. Of course, we are talking about no other than, yeah, Dougie Freedman. It seems that Manchester United are interested in appointing Dougie Freedman as their head of recruitment, with a Palace anticipating a immediate approach this week. It seems to be Ineos that suggests that Ineos and United are aiming for a swift appointment, especially since Ashworth and Berrada are currently on garden leave. So, who is Dougie Freedman? What does he bring to the table? Uh, who has he recruited before? What is his pedigree CV? So I want you guys to stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to share also my personal experience in talking to Dougie before, but also sharing some insights from other agents that's been talking to him before. But before we continue, guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe to this video so you never miss our shows when we go live. We'll be back in a couple seconds.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Dankjewel. Ik vind u welkom. Dit is mijn home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
Okay, good afternoon, people. Welcome back to the first stream of the day and probably the only stream. Welcome back to the channel. I am Mick Ruby, your host and the responsible producer and lead content generator. How are you doing this afternoon, Tuesday? Let me know your feelings. Where are you from? It is Tuesday the 5th, as you can see. And of course, we have a lot of things to talk about. Of course, breaking news is what came out in the stories today that no other than Dougie Freedman is being considering for a approach to be the head of recruitment. Now, a lot of people might wonder who the hell is Dougie Freedman and what pedigree does he have? And this is what we're going to have a conversation about as a community. So big up to all of you for coming in. Be a little bit patient. It is just me by myself, and I can see you guys coming here. Oh, Kojo is here. Looking forward for this podcast. 100%. Welcome to the stream. Lucky Singh is here. Potter and Jellyfish deserve be out. Guys, you are so funny. I love this community. Me and my friends would protest, not come here. Yeah. Neil Driscoll, afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Neil Driscoll. How you doing? How you doing? So let's dive right into this story. Let's do this, peeps. A lot of people might wonder, well, what kind of pedigree does he actually have? Oh, that's a lot of people might wonder because Ineos has said they want the best in class people. Berrada makes sense, chief operating officer from Citigroup. Dan Ashworth, massive candidate. You're looking at the head of development, which is most likely going to be Ashcroft, and then last in line will be the head of recruitment, which has been linked to Dougie Freedman. Now, why is it so? Let's go over this article that was actually published today. Calling components, we're going to discuss it. Then I'm going to put my thoughts and feelings to it. I want to engage with you. So you let me know also in the VR room what you think. But first and foremost, Manchester United have identified Dougie Freedman as the top target for the head of recruitment. There's been other candidates in the mix. Of course, we talked about Julian Ward from Liverpool, but he's only 18 months in his job at Liverpool, so he's most not likely to leave. And Dougie is currently the sporting director of Crystal Palace. You asked the question, why would you like to leave as a sporting director to go to a footballing head of recruitment? That's a step down. Well, not really. We were going to go over his CV because at the end of the day, when Manchester United comes knocking on the door, there's a massive pulling power, especially when you're working in a smaller club as Crystal Palace. No disrespect, but Dougie has worked as in his managerial career at Palace before, at Bolton Wanderers, and also now, actually at Nottingham Forest. He was there to 2006, and he took a sabbatical, leaving and came back as a footballing director for Crystal Palace. Now, he's a former striker, of course, is Scottish, developed a sustainable reputation among football executives for his work as a sporting director currently. He's been there since 2017, so that is a solid 5 years at Selhurst Park. And Ineos believe currently that he is one of the ideal candidates for the structure that they are building, right? Structure is key. Structure is key. So what I know that he works really well in a structured environment. When you have a vision, when you have the CEO working together with, the director of football, head of recruitment is there to develop the persona profiles, to listen to what the manager wants, and look for what's the best in class out there for the price. That's what they do. In the background, you have like an analyst that analyzes each position. But what you do as a head of recruitment is keep tabs on what talent is out there, what scouting network did you have. Every single football agent, you have them in your black books of contacts. And this is Dougie Freedman for you. Right, we're going to go over that a little bit later, but just going to go over this article as well. It was published today by Independent and it's been tweeted numerous times on Twitter or X. Freedman's broader experience may also aid the current stadium as United wants his position to be filled as quickly as possible. That is the crux here. United cannot afford to wait, but United can afford to appoint somebody that is least better than current establishment. We're talking about Darren Fletcher and Murtaugh. So if they can pull the trigger this fast, they can do this. If it doesn't work, then you can terminate his contract and look for something else. It's a rebuild. And that is kind of the reason why he is one of the candidates. It doesn't say that he is the preferred choice, but negotiations and talks are ongoing among with other candidates as well. Is this part of a recruitment process? This has had to do with, Dan Ashworth and Omar Berrada still being on garden leave. So therefore, they need somebody in as soon as possible to act as kind of a little bit of an interim sporting director and looking over the summer transfer window, depending on how it goes with, Dan Ashworth. We know that Omar Berrada got 6 months garden leave. Manchester United is currently negotiating head to head with Newcastle to release Dan Ashworth for a ransom fee. And I've been told just today they're getting very close with Dan Ashworth. The sum would end around £8 million to 10 million approximately. They are negotiating around that sums to buy him out. Why buy him out? Why buy Dan Ashworth out? Basically, Newcastle paid £5 million for him at Brighton to release it. They want to recuperate a little bit of that money. And if you pay that money, that means that you can shorten down his garden leave and notice period. So naturally, for me, this seems a little bit of underwhelming. I know what you're thinking. What kind of pedigree does he have? Predominantly, you look at his managerial career, started with Crystal Palace back in 2014, managed Bolton Wanderers, went back to Nottingham Forest as a manager, took a garden leave 2006, came back into football 2017 to be the sporting director from Crystal Palace. Now, you can argue to the point to say, Mick, well, hang on a second, what kind of players have he recruited, right? Well, we all seen it before, right? We know what kind of players he's recruited. For me, it is always to find the best talent available on the market for a cheap price. My experience dealing with him, he's a straight shooter. He knows what he wants. He's not a yes man, and this is something that United need based on what we currently have or will have something better. So fair and square, as a head of recruitment, what you do is you looking after the entire scouting network. You sit there and in close collaboration with Erik ten Hag or whoever the manager will be. You work in conjunction in structure with the sporting director and the CEO, and you sit discuss what is a playing style, what do we want, and together with Erik ten Hag, you're developing a persona profile for each targeted position. So that is his job, to find talent wherever they are in the world. Especially, he's well known for finding talent in South London. Now, what kind of players have he recruited? What is his pedigree? Of course, we're talking about no other than Micheal Olise. Micheal Olise, that we are linked to in the summer. That is an abundance of talent. This is something that we all want as a United fans. Micheal Olise. Um, but then the list goes on, right? Micheal Olise, what he did, he found him for cheap price, and that's what we want. We don't want to overpay. No way, no way, Jose, because we've seen it before. We've been, you know, dragged to the market, pulled our pants down, and at the end of the day, we overpaid for Anthony Dos Santos and the whole lot, right? Micheal Olise was a sort of high sought winger. He left Reading to join Palace in July 2021 after the South London club activated his 8.3 million release clause. So 8.3 million release clause. And look at him now. That was in 2021, right? Now they probably want 45, 50, 60 million pounds for him because there's another release clause slapped on Olise. And we are heavily linked with him in the summer to come in. So Olise has definitely one of the transformative players in Palace. And Palace, to be fair, right? They're not expected to win anything. They're always expected to be in the mid-table, but they've been surviving. They have an dinosaur as a manager in terms of. I'm sorry for laughing. He's a legend. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. So, in all fairness, to be fair, this is a talent that we want, right? He's on a top flight, he's scoring, but a little bit of an injury prone. He started to find his form 22-23 season, has impressed a very struggling Palace side. He's a Frenchman. He's not pretty much an English talent, so he's French, just to put you a reminder so you don't say British tax, right? So Olise is definitely now being linked to Chelsea, to Manchester United in the summer, but most likely it looks like it's going to be Manchester United. It's going to be Manchester United. I hope so. Let me know what you think about Micheal Olise. Would you take him over? I certainly will consider him. I definitely will do. At the end of the day, we got to talk about other players as well, peeps. And you know what? I can see what you're saying here in the comments. So this Palace guy is so good. Ask yourself one question: why are Palace so shit? I see you, Simpson. But as I explained, Palace has no ambition to or having the funds, the capital to go big in the market, and that has been the key of their recruitment structure to find, the best talent you can get for a cut price. I just mentioned Olise went to from Reading to Crystal Palace for 8.3 million, right? And now they're selling him for a release clause on 55-60. So you tell me. They've never been sort of rich club in a way, but they've just been floating and staying alive, haven't really been relegated, to be honest, to be fair. Now, another player that is also hot on the press, the score of the weekend. I like this guy, this Eze, 100% Eze. Eberechi Eze. There's another talent. 20 million move from Palace was confirmed in August 2020 after being named the PFA Championship Team of the Year with Queen's Park Rangers. Eze did not hit the numbers he had to hope in his debut in the Premier League campaign, though he did score a stunning solo goal against Sheffield United. Eze suffered a serious ankle injury during the training season in May 2021 and ended up keeping him sidelined for 6 months. So he was injured for 6 months. After a long road back to fitness and form, Eze was back with his magnificent self last season to finish the season with 10 goals and 4 assists. 10 goals and 4 assists. 20 million QPR. Now you're starting to see the pattern. You're starting to see the pattern. Next player in line. Sorry for. Oh no, that was not this player. I want to go into Guehi. Guehi. Marc Guehi. I'm sorry for slaughter. I said Guehi, didn't I? He's definitely a product of the Chelsea Academy. He joined Palace from the Blues, about 5-year deal for 18 million. after 2 impressive loan spells at Championship outfit Swansea. This is all down to Dougie Freedman. He's a centre back that immediately cemented his place within Crystal Palace starting 11 and missed just 2 Premier League matches in his debut season. So he's also earned a call up to the Three Lions, 100%. And Roy Hodgson is his name, the old dinosaur that I keep forgetting his name. He's been in the game for so long. He's so proud of this player as well. I think Roy Hodgson also thinks a lot about Dougie Freedman, as Dougie Freedman used to be a Palace player himself. He used to be a striker, a Scottish striker. What is your thoughts and feelings? Do you think that, yeah, these are just small names, but it's not all about these big shirt sellers. It's what, we know that FFP is looming around the corner. Do we really want to go and sign those £100 million players, or do we really want to go and scout the 18 million low risk talent that can be great, right? I think that most of United fans wants this, right? For 100 million, you can buy 4 players, and this is what he's so good at, right? It's not always about finding the clear and obvious, and it's not always finding the talent that's English, to be fair. Some people say this is British talents, but then you go to the next player, which is no other than, the Danish Joachim Andersen, Denmark international, arrived at Selhurst Park for a fee in the region of £15 million in July 2021, after spending previous campaigns alone at Fulham, who were relegated in the Premier League. Andersen has been an astute addition to the Palace backline, featuring 39 times in his first season at the club. His form of solid partnership with Guehi at the back, and the pair has been pivotal for the Palace impressive defense. They have a very good solid defensive record this season. One thing that Palace is good at is being defensive and do the transitional counter break football with Olise and Eze. So these are some of the players that Dougie Freedman has been involved with in his spell at Selhurst Park. Now, is this underwhelming? Did you expect a world beater? Who is out there in the market? I believe that Inos is looking for somebody that has the ability, that has the finger on the pulse, that can work in a team and to have fun. Remember where Ratcliffe came out in his first interview with BBC. He says we employ people with these cultural values, the determination, the grit, but also have fun. It's not about the big names and egos. We all work as a team, and you got to have a sense of humor. So when you recruit, you're looking at the persona profile itself. Can he work with Ashford? Can he work with Berrada? Can he work in a team? At the end of the day, that's pivotal, right? So you got to work in a structure where you have got to be straight to the point. You got to understand what is that we need, right? What is kind of the playing style that Manchester United want to do? Are we going to play an expensive style football, counter press, gegenpress? Are we being counter-attacking team? Based on discussions with the manager, to say, manager will come and order, like, listen, I need a centre-back that is quick on his block, press resistant, find me something. And that is his job, right? He takes on board all the persona notes and details, goes to the market and looks, brings out a short list of 5 potential candidates for the left back position. And off we go. Then you come, of course, to the negotiations, which involve Dan Ashworth and the Romanian team to negotiate the fee. But one thing that he's very good at, he doesn't overpay. He does not overpay. How do I know this? I've spoken to him 3 times before. So I know he's quite a straight shooter. Ineos first need to build a core base of players. A 20 million flop is a very cheap, but then 85 million flop. this strategy is way to go. What Alien Tenor is saying, 100%. You know, you just pause for a second, Alien Tenor, there with your comments. I'm sorry if I'm not pulling your comments out. You can all read yourself in the VR room, and I'm reading from the same screen as you. Ask yourself the question: did we overpay for Anthony dos Santos? Did we get our pants pulled down, or the incompetency of John Murtaugh? If the answer is yes, then what are we hesitating on going for Dougie Freedman that can find you talent for 20 million? Eze, Micheal Olise, Joachim Andersen, you name it. Right? The question is, are they good enough to step out to United? Of course, everyone is looking at Eze, Olise, Andersen, right? Good addition to the squad. But they didn't pay more than 20 million for those players. And this is what Crystal Palace is all about. It's to find those gems not only in South London, but entire scouting network. And that is what he's good at, right? So one judge somebody who has not yet started in his job, what Joachim Andersen is saying. Let's see where he will be in 3 years. And that's it. If he fails, is easily replaceable, right? But one thing that we know with this current establishment that's coming in, they mean business. They want best in class people. So if they have identified Dougie Freedman, it's a laughable name. You go like, oh yeah. But what do you know about Dougie Freedman? Nobody really knows. It's all about who do we think can be the future to lead the lines in the recruitment. And he's been identified. He's been earmarked. And that's all we need to know, right? That's all we need to know. Maguire, Sancho, Anthony, outrageous. Money for mediocre players. Exactly, Elentino. No more of this crap. No more. It's going to be a very difficult summer to get rid of all these players. And I don't expect United to get rid of half of squad. It's mission impossible. But there's going to be players that's definitely going to see the door. We cannot replace the whole back line, Maguire, Lindelof at the same time, or Scott McTominay. Something's got to give, something's got to stay, right? Otherwise, we just leave ourselves very short with limited time to do a Chelsea madness, where Chelsea went in the window and just bought 8-10 players, and look where they are now. It doesn't work like that. So you get rid of, first and foremost, the players that you don't want, that is well overdue, according to my opinion. And then you look at, all right, let's get to business. When everyone is on board, if this guy wants to leave right here, right now, to be an interim sporting director while Ashworth is on garden leave, fine. We can actually start planning. He can be the interim sporting director and the head of recruitment while putting Murtaugh on the sidelines and Darren Fletcher. At the end of the day, this is what I want for us as a club. Yeah. So this is what's coming out in the press, people, and I want to hear your opinions 100%, because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you my experience and dealing with this guy as an intermediate, right? As a reference, I've just received a message just now. Let me see, for one of my agents as well. If you don't mind, I will play it.
Afternoon, mate. Sorry, I'm only saying this now. I've had a flat out morning. He seems all right. I've had a couple of dealings with him. He's very straight to the point. There's no messing about with him. I can tell you that. He's very professional. I think that's exactly what United are looking for. They're not looking for a yes man like they've had before. So, I think he'd be a good addition. I'd be very surprised if he leaves Crystal Palace to go as head of recruitment. But listen, if it works, it works. Happy days for him, So, fingers crossed. But sure, give us a call anytime, Mick.
I'll give you a call later time. Yes, I will give him a call later. This is one of my agents that I work with as well, so well known in the English market as well. Spot on. This is exactly my take on Dougie as well. very straight to the point, knows what he wants, has a broad network, always has the finger on the pulse, and don't be underestimated. Just because he's not one of the big names like Michael Edwards and, you know, doesn't mean that he's bad. But again, just a friendly reminder that he is one of the shortlist candidates that are currently recruiting and approaching. Now, it's normal recruitment process. There is a short list of candidates, so one to two, three that have been interviewed. And if he's part of that short list, that means that Ineos means business and they recognize him and one of the potential top candidates. Now, I want to hear from you guys. What do you say? Look from the viewpoint. Let me bring in the comment section. Um, Comments. Let's see. What are you saying, Alien Taylor? Peter, big up to you. Look at it from this viewpoint. If we get 80 million for Rashford, who is doing nothing and buy four players with that money on low wage as well? That's good business. I know what you're referring, and I know what you're having a pop at, Alien. Right? If we get 80 million, that money goes straight into the Glazers' pocket, what it used to be. But those 80 millions could be recycled now because, first and foremost, this is the footballing operations which Glazers don't have any say in anymore. So those money that, you know, if Rashford gets sold for 80, goes straight into the kitty to buy another player. So you can split that money and buy three players or at least get two players for 80 million. So you're absolutely spot on, mate. Potter and De Serbi out. Not interested in that rubbish. You're talking about managers, Lucky. We spoke about this yesterday. So go back. There was a brilliant podcast yesterday. I felt like we had a lot of things to talk and there was a lot of punching points in that one. So again, I don't believe in the gravy train. It's expected. We lose against City and the knives are out sharpening. Leaks are coming out as per usual by Lockhurst and all of them saying that, you know what, players are not complaining because the training, they are forced to run, doing his push-ups, sit-ups. Come on, prima donnas. They're all usual, right? And they say that Ten Hag has got 3 games to, you know, to prove himself. Otherwise, he's out of the door. That's absolutely nonsense. He ain't going anywhere. I don't think he's going to get sacked until the summer, right? I don't think so. And when he speaks like somebody with a reinsurance. And if you're going to get rid of him, you got to pay him 14 million. 14 million. But, however, since he's got 1 year left on his contract, I think there is a Premier League rule to say you can get away with it by paying 4 million, but then yet again, 5 million, but then yet again, you got to pay out the remaining of his backroom stuff that comes with him. Because if you're going to appoint a new manager, he's going to want to bring in his own backroom stuff as well. So instantly you're looking at 25, 30, 40 million that goes straight taken out from the transfer kitty. And I don't think that Ineos want to do that. I think that in that case, it's a disruptive process. Why slow things down again? Like, you know, this is the last thing that you want to do. First and foremost, you want to get the structure in place, start recruiting for the summer, you know, fizz them out for the remaining of the contract, and let us see, like, you know, can Ten Hag do this with a proper sporting structure above him, right? This has been unprecedented for Ten Hag because he's always had people above him to work on the same page at Ajax. He had Overmars, Van der Sar, abundance of people that worked in together in terms of recruitment strategy. So he was a little bit surprised when he came to United and got, what the hell is going on here? I have to do everything myself. And I've been told how to play. You're not allowed to play the Ajax style. You're going to play our style, which is to counter-attack in football. And for fuck's sake, what is our style? What is our style? Simpson, what you saying? Rashford ain't going nowhere. Shaw is going nowhere. All big contracts players are here for life. Imagine. It's yet to be seen, Sim, right? If they are ruthless, they will look at it from that point of view to say, hey, listen, how much sick leave do you have? How much outputs do you provide when you are available? Right? I love Shaw in a certain way, but it's not sustainable, right? We need players that we can rely on week in and week out. Of course, injuries do happen. You know, it happens in football, right? But it's also down to what kind of medical department do you have, and how do you take care of yourself off the pitch when you're not training? Sleep, recovery, eat, sleep, train, repeat. It's a job. Jarle, what you say? The question is, do United want players who has fallen out with fans of the club? More to do with Rashford at all any time anymore. It will be long before he gets hated by United fans. And you have a point, right? We've spoken about Rashford so many times. I have no agenda for Rashford whatsoever. But when you're petulant and the time when you did this, shut up to the fans, this quack quack, this is when he lost me. I know there's a player in Rashford, but it's a very inconsistent player. I don't know what's going on with him mentally, but the body language, the application on the pitch shows that I need a break. So if you're going to keep Rashford, don't put him on the flight to US tour. Just give him a break from football. Let him recover. Perhaps send him a whole week in Belfast for, plenty of tequilas. I don't know what the recipe is, but there certainly is a player in Rashford. And if there is a big money contract coming in for him, like if PSG offering 80, I'm sure that United will have a look at it. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what Marcus Rashford wants. We are talking about individuals, and they have the right to say yes or no. Shaw is injured more than Varane now. Time to hit the bin. And that is kind of hitting the same tone as what I have to say. Looking at the current squad, we are thin as Disney on ice, to be honest. And it's a little bit worrying sign, 100%. But I'm not panicking. If you look at Aston Villa, how many games they're playing and who they're playing, and then I look at Spurs, who they're playing as well. It's done, and they have to play each other as well. Anything can happen there. We on the other hand playing Liverpool in the Cup, Liverpool in the Prem, and Arsenal as well. And Brighton might be a tricky one, but I don't think so. So we pretty much cleared out all the big boys, and the remaining of the games is the lower halves. So if we compare our, Aston Villa, Spurs, and us, we have an easier fixture of games. But depends on. It's not doom and gloom because we have players coming back, like Hoyland's coming back into the center again. Leach will come back. We have an international break in the middle of March as well, so it ain't doom and gloom. And remember, Lisandro Martinez will be back as well. Potentially Luke Shaw at the end of the season. But until then, we just have to hop on by and go for it. Let him go pray with Sancho. It's all about the good for Rashford. Don't go to PSG. Look at how the fans were on Neymar's, etc. Yeah. They are horrible. They're horrible. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. I just want to come in and share my thoughts and feelings, my personal experience with Dougie Freedman. What do you think? Let me know. If you're watching in retrospective, drop a comment, 100%. It's been just a short and snappy update. We spoke about who Dougie Freedman is, what CV does he have, why does Inos want him? And it's all about being part of a team, being part of the cogwheel to find the hidden gems for 20 to 25 million pounds. Right? This is something that United need to start doing. We cannot overpay, 90 million for a Anthony Dos Santos who can only do one trick. Or actually, he can do the spinster trick. He did that at Old Trafford, and a lot of people got furious, if you remember. It's underwhelming, the output. He scored once this season, I think, and it was Newport in the FA Cup. It hasn't really contributed to anything, and we pay him 250 a week. And that alone is going to be difficult to sell. Who will buy him? And who is responsible for it? It goes back to hello, John Murtaugh. So anything else better than John Murtaugh, I will back. If it's Dougie Freedman, let's give this guy a test. If it doesn't work, then we can always bin him after 3 years or 41 million. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Share this video. Let people know. I know we are on a really unusual time today, but I do have visitors visiting. My wife's sister is here with her husband, so hence I have to spend a little bit of time with the family. Glaze is such but A7K Alien Tenno. If Southampton, Brighton, Everton can find hidden gems, and damn sure Manchester United can. But the thing is, big point. The thing is that Manchester United have a very good scouting department. I have first-hand experience. You know, I've been offering players in the past to from South America that could be world beaters. But who is there not picking up the phone is John Murtaugh. And when he finally looks at it and he says, he doesn't sell me any shirts. Move on. Bye bye. Moises Caicedo was a beautiful example, right? His agent came there, presented Moises Caicedo, strongly recommended by Ragnick as well. John Murtaugh looked at it and said, no, he doesn't sell me any shirts. The agent just walked away and it's like, what the hell? Went to Chelsea, boom, barabosh, 7 million. Guess how much Chelsea guess how much, Brighton sold him. It's history, over 100. So that's what a head of recruitment and sporting director does. And this is something that we at United are been lacking. It's the only thing we can look forward to. But again, this is paper talk. Credible sources, what I've spoken to, says possible. Some people say, why would he leave? I doubt it. Why would he be leaves as a sporting director from Crystal Palace? Well, it's the pulling power of Manchester United. It's the overall project. If United comes knocking on the door, would you say no? I don't believe so. McTominay, Maguire, look at Italy. Yeah. Or West Ham, right? Martial is gone as well. That's another thing. Like Martial will be gone in the summer. That's another 300k off the wage bill. That's like, wow. That's one thing. Christian Eriksen will also be gone in the summer. So there are players that have been fizzed out. The leverage for us to buy players in the summer. I will send in my CV 100%. I will sit there as a recruiter, 100%. 55. Yeah, I take it for 55 million. I'll definitely chuck in my CV there, George Best. Oh, did I miss Jarvis? Is Jarvis here? Oh, yeah. Big up you, Jarvis. How you doing, my friend? Yeah. So to summarize, again, who is Dougie and why is he best in class? Well, guys, you can always look it up on Wikipedia as well, right? I have 2 conversations with Dougie before when we dealt with loan market deal. Always straightforward, knows what he wants. He doesn't get mucked around, got the finger on the pulse. Excellent negotiator as well. If you look at players like Micheal Olise, 20 million. Actually, the trigger is 7.8 million for Micheal Olise from Reading. French player, not English, by the way. Eze, 20. Right? Who else? What did we mention earlier? If you remember. I just want to test your memory. If you've been watching, of course, we talked about the Danish Joachim Andersen as well. And we talked about Marc Guehi. Fantastic players that's been signed outside England and within England as well. But it's not always finding British talent. It's all about finding that, having that scouting network, having that great relationship with agents, right? Negotiation, having astute relationship with the manager, developing the persona profiles. And yeah, why would you go for this striker for 100 million, Victor Osimhen for 150 when you can actually go and get a Benjamin Sesko for 40? Those levels needs to be there. It hasn't been under Darren Fletcher, John Murtaugh, and Joel Glazer. No chance in hell. Anyway, big up for coming in here. It is been a snappy, short video update news. Me talking about the potential out there. It's been reported in the media. I've been speaking to my intermediate network as well to just understand if this got legs. Apparently, it does got legs. And Julian Ward as well from Liverpool. So these are top candidates waiting. But first and foremost, why United want Dougie Freedman? Because they believe that Crystal Palace, they have an ethos and policy. They not want to stand in the way. If somebody wants to leave, they will not stand in the way. That's a gentleman's. That is Crystal Palace for you as a club. So they're not going to be like assholes like Newcastle to hold Ashford for a ransom fee. No, they're going to let him go. 100%, they're going to let him go. Why? Because as continuous business, they want to see they still have the relationship with Dougie Freedman, and they're probably going to sell more players to United through Dougie Freedman as well. So it's a win-win business situation as well. Now, I know what you're thinking. It might sound a little bit underwhelming. It's not a big name what you were expecting, but this is one of the top tier candidates available. We looked at Edwards. We looked at many other candidates, but there's two that have been standing out, and there's Julian Ward from Liverpool and Dougie at the moment. We will see how this will transpire, but apparently they are going to have talks. Ashford's situation seems to be resolving this week. We're going to have a special podcast with one of my contacts within the industry who knows Dan Ashford very, very well, deals with him on a daily basis. I'm going to call him up right now, and we're going to book in a podcast. So hopefully we're going to get this done this week. Until then, guys, Jarvis, good to see you. Yeah, hang on. Let me just go to the comments. You guys are forcing me to do this. I was trying to close the shop, but I cannot do this because I love you too much. Let me see. Mick, as educated man, would you say this was a conflict of interest? Glazers was advised by City's owner to use Rain Group of solicitors to sell Manchester United, not to Sheikh Yassin because they own Rain Group. Dude, I have no idea, John. Big questions. Big questions. Speculations. As a conflict of interest, the Glazers were advised by City's owners to use Rain Group as solicitors. Well, first and foremost, Rain Group are not solicitors. Rain Group are a business and acquisition merger consultancies, right? Advisory. And Man United's solicitors is Latham and Watkins, as the main solicitors. So I don't know, man. I don't know, John. But big up to you. Good to see you here as well. Alien Tenor. What'd you say, Mick? On a lighter note, Dougie Freedman used to be mail order catalogue in UK in the 70s. Yeah, he used to be a good striker, a Scottish striker. Yeah, don't know Dougie Freedman. A lot of people don't, but do your research, because there's going to be more videos coming in. Brilliant. And if you missed yesterday's podcast, big up Jarvis, Bombaye, and Tom. Fantastic 1 hour and 30 minutes podcast yesterday. Went a little bit later than usual. It went, but I think it was about 10 p.m. UK time. Go check it out. Really, really good conversation. 100%. So big up to you, Jarvis and Bombaye. Big up to all of you for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. We are here for you every day. If there's anything more to say, I will definitely pop out, do my research, and speak to you with, cool and composed the way I used to do. And hopefully we will see you tomorrow. It's Wednesday, midweek. We are playing Everton. We can breathe out. Playing Everton home over the weekend. So I'm really looking forward for a bounce back. So until then, people, stay beautiful, and we should see you to the next video. Thank you for watching, and that's all, folks. See you to the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.